Seaside Heights, New Jersey. Where's Snooky? I'm looking for Snooky. I don't see Snooky. And is that Snooky on the screen? Oh, is that a bug? All right, whatever. Welcome back, everybody, to American Sunrise. Israel says it has received the bodies of more deceased hostages. Now, this comes after Israel received the first 4 bodies from Hamas. As part of the agreement, Hamas released all remaining living hostages and now has to turn over the remains of those who died. So for more, let's bring in retired Navy SEAL officer Mike Sarrelli. Mike, good to have you here on the show. So the toll right now, or the tally, I should say, is that Hamas has returned 7 of the 20 dead hostages. But now Israel says one of the hostages that they returned is not a hostage at all. It's actually a dead Palestinian. So now Israel is restricting some of the aid going into Gaza. This thing is already starting to spiral a little bit. I'm sure they'll figure it out eventually, but Hamas is going to play games. They're not going to disarm. Then President Trump said yesterday there at the White House that, we're going to get Hamas to disarm, and if we have to, the United States will disarm Hamas. Really? How's the United States going to disarm Hamas without boots on the ground? Someone needs to explain all this to me. I'm not happy, by the way. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. I hate to tell you, I told you so. We've been talking about this. This next part is going to be a little bit of a quagmire. What I mean by that is, to your point, each of the bodies that are given to the Israelis are going to have to go through forensic analysis to confirm that they are in fact the hostages. And it's going to be this back and forth. But let me give you guys a different perspective. Do you think that Hamas is probably good at record keeping while they're being hunted by Israel? Or maybe the guy that knows where they buried a hostage, maybe was killed by Israeli forces in combat. So this was going to be problematic, and there's a consequence for inaction, and that is what Israel's doing with restriction on aid.
Mike, I think one of the I feel like I need to, David and Terrence, talk about what we talked about on our call this morning. And I think it's very important to understand that what our executive producer pointed out to us this morning, which I knew, but I'd kind of forgotten, and that is how important it is to the Jewish people to receive bodies back. This is really sacred. You know, some people are like, especially, I know some Christian groups, different churches and things, you know, once you're dead, you know, I don't care, scatter me around, do whatever, I don't care, I'm dead, I'm gone. My mom was like that, she didn't care. But to the Jewish people and in the Jewish tradition, not keeping track of and giving back the bodies, it's a special disrespect.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And actually, in Islam, it is vitally important to bury their dead within 24 hours following proper procedure. So, you know, what I'll say here is what you rob of these families that are waiting to confirm their deceased loved ones is a little bit of closure. Do they ever get full closure? Absolutely not. But if they follow the practices according to their religion to bury their loved ones, it does give them a little peace of mind. And that's vitally important to the Israeli people and the nation. And this is why this is going to be problematic probably for the next month or so.
Yeah. Thanks.
Mike, it is a victory for the White House and for President Trump in particular, having brokered this peace/ceasefire, whatever kind of deal you want to call it, and getting the hostages returned. Obviously, yes, there's still a lot of work left in order to maintain this peace/ceasefire and move the Middle East and Israel and Hamas forward. But it also seems that it's given President Trump a lot of momentum and a lot of leverage when brokering other deals, specifically a peace deal, a ceasefire deal between not Israel, but Russia and Ukraine. That's something that obviously has been in the works, but it's been a tenuous deal. We thought we had a deal, then there was no deal. Russia is not talking to Ukraine. You know, there's been a lot of talk, but no real substantive action that's moved that process forward. Do you think now that process will begin to move forward between Russia and Ukraine, given the win that President Trump is able to share on the world stage as it relates to Israel and Hamas?
Hey, Terrence, I think you summarized that beautifully. Yes, all eyes are now on Russia and Ukraine. When I say that, don't make a mistake. I'm not saying that the Hamas-Israel peace treaty is not fragile. It is. We've got to go through phase 2 in order to get phase 3. There's a lot that could happen that could derail that process. But we are at a point where Trump can use that momentum alongside Steve Witkoff to now focus on closing the Ukraine-Russia war. But if I have to give an estimate, I would say it's going to take him about 12 months to close this deal. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. These don't happen quickly. Russia has taken proximity of Ukraine, and they want to hold that, and they want legitimacy within the peace deal of retaining that land. And Ukraine is going to object to that aggressively, and that's where the difficulty of finding the middle ground between both parties is going to be.
Wow, that's interesting. Mike Sarrelli, great to have you, and good perspective, great perspective. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, coming up, are more women at risk for depression than men? We're going to have those shocking new details when we come back on American Sunrise.